This section is dealing with the heartbreak in the breakup 1 week update by Chris L. Back. So the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out. So let's into this section in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another video. So today is the 1 week update of a little over a week, but of going through a breakup. I wanted to just do a progression of my experience and kind of what it looks like, and I don't know, maybe help some of you guys out. But for me, last week, a little over a week, I've tried to just go out and do more things, partly to kind of keep myself distracted, but also kind of to live more. That was part of the reason why I broke up in the first place, because I focused too much on work. Wasn't communication things as well, where I wasn't able to communicate my emotions very well, but mainly, I guess they
Communication is the key.
were pretty equal. But going out and doing more has been good for me. Like I said, it's good as a distraction. Kind of keeps my mind off things. I met with a therapist on Monday. Today is Tuesday, so that was yesterday. I met with therapists, starting to work on those, talking through my emotions more. And I feel like for me, there gets a weight lifted off of being able to do things, just because once you reach a certain threshold of, like a pain threshold of someone saying something to you. For me, it was a girl just saying that she's no longer in love with me. I just feel like it takes a lot of pressure off of you, just because you don't really care about other people's judgment as much anymore. So you're not really worried about doing things, looking silly, saying a certain thing wrong, or whatever, like something like that. It just takes a lot of weight off, because for me at least, my mentality in those moments are, what could someone say that could be possibly worse? If you do find something that someone could say that's worse, then that'll just be my new benchmark. But it's taken away a lot of the pressure of just not wanting to do certain things and be able to express myself in certain ways, because again, what are you gonna say to me that's worse than that? It's just, it doesn't really matter. So for me, it's been on and off in terms of feeling better. I've had days where I felt great, and then I've had days where I haven't felt too great, and I have days like today where I kind of go through the cycles of missing her, and then just feeling fine and moving on, and planning out a life without her. So it kind of goes through cycles. For me, it hasn't been linear. It hasn't just been like steady, better, better, better. Just it's been kind of up and down and all over the place. And one thing that made me pretty sad is I am starting to kind of lose those feelings I had at one point. She lost already, but now with everything that's going on, I did reach out to her once. We had a, I think, pretty honest and solid conversation. Just nothing too crazy, just talking about things in a way that it didn't have the emotion of the moment in it when it first happened. So I think that was better, just kind of showing some of the progress and some of the things I'm doing to better myself. And I'm not really sure if there's a future with her, in terms of a second chance or whatever the case may be, which can be sad for me, but is what it is at the end of the day. I'm gonna just keep working on myself, and I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't feel the same way, who doesn't feel in love with me, or that they want to be with me. I wouldn't want that anyway either. So if it's not real, then it's not something that I want. So I think part of that, or partly her saying that there's most likely not going to be a future anymore with us, and just kind of the time and maybe the distractions, I've begun to kind of lose feelings a little bit. I don't really see her pictures, or see something. Old pictures are new, and it doesn't really feel the same. It doesn't really have that spark that I once saw in her. And for me, it's more depressing than the actual breakup was, because even though that happened and it hurt, it helped me grow, and B, it just I still cared, and it was still it was still emotion, it was still something there, and now it just not caring anymore for me is very depressing. You know, for
Yeah.
someone that I saw myself spending a good amount of my life with, that now I'm not really even that concerned with what she goes on with in her day to day, and she probably feels the same way towards me. It gets a little depressing, and obviously this is my first serious relationship, so all of this is new grounds for me. So if you guys have any advice or recommendations, I'm always open. So toss me in the chat. But for me, this has just been the 1 week update. Just kind of been filling out my schedule. Gone out. I
Yeah.
made a few new friends. Started doing new things. Went to a museum today. Drinking coffee for the first time in my life. I've been way less focused on work. Very unfocused on work. And unfocused on the gym. And it's funny because when I stopped obsessing over those things, they actually started to be better. I've actually been better at those things. It's just the big joke of the universe. You know, I would have been actually doing better if I didn't obsess over those things so heavily, and it wouldn't have cost me our relationship. But honestly, I see it as something I needed because I had certain traumas with me. Like being able to communicate even the way I am now would have been tough for me. But just doing something like this, and then also being able to go live my life without feeling guilty for it, I think those are things that, unless something this traumatic happened where it forced me to grow, I would have carried those things to the grave with me. So I would have never faced them because they don't just fade away. If you have trauma, it doesn't just fade away eventually. You gotta face it, and you gotta own up to it. And the big thing for me was realizing that I didn't have to do it by myself. It wasn't just me go figure it out myself. And yeah, I'm the one who has to do it, but I like to think about it like snowboarding. Like, yes, I'm the one who has to do the snowboarding, but I can get an instructor to show me how to do the things, and it'll save me months and years off of the learning curve of needing to do it, like getting a therapist or talking with friends. Like, yes, you are the one who has to do the growing,
Yeah.
but you can still reach out and get help. And
Yeah.
for me, that's been big because some of these days have been pretty depressing, and
Wow.
it's still pretty raw, so it still hurts. And for me, the losing feelings part it hurts even more than the actual breakup because I don't want to be at a point where I don't care about someone who was so
Yeah.
important to me at one point, and I don't really know what to do to counteract that besides just continuing on and doing what I do and just improving myself. But it's a tough feeling, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish
Literally.
it on anybody. I wouldn't wish this on anybody because it is tough and
Yeah.
it's hard. So that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Appreciate you guys all for coming. Remember to live for the now, live for the moment. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate who you have in your life.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah.
everything that you're blessed to be with in this
Yeah.
moment because it's not always promised. It's not always gonna be there tomorrow.
Yeah. True that. Yeah.
And if you have someone to love, if you have someone there for you, don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Make sure that they feel heard and respected and that they are valued. Take it from me. Do it before you push them to their limit because it's a sucky feeling once you realize that you
Yeah.
destroyed something that didn't need to be destroyed. So that's gonna be it. See you guys next one.
Yeah. Wow. That was dealing with OPEC, a backup 1 week update by Chris Out. A link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out and pop I like if you like and comment below if you want to see more reaction like this one. And subscribe if you're new and click the bell so you can be notified when I upload in about 5. Wow.